trying to reach 80% completion, and I got 5 games to finish to make this the biggest cleanup episode so far. We got very close to 80% last time, so hopefully we reach it this time. With 103 trophies to earn, including 3 Mein Leven trophies I've already been traumatized from recently. But before we get to those, Battlefield Hardline servers are getting shut down. Yes, the inevitable EA closure of Doom has been announced. Luckily, it was my 3rd ever platinum when I got it back in 2016. But can I even still get the 100%? No, because several years earlier they already shut down the competitive matchmaking mode, causing this trophy to be unobtainable. Normally speaking, I'd be annoyed at this, and I was, but just slightly more than usual this time because I have over 360 hours in this game. I played the flip out of it back when it launched, and because this was in my competitive esports era, I played a ton of clan matches. However, these competitive matches against other tryhards were played in unranked lobbies, because that was the only way to customize rule sets. I didn't even spend half my time in public regular lobbies, the majority of it was spent in these unofficial competitive matches. But those didn't count towards the trophy. Understandable, but extremely painful looking at it now, so the 100% wasn't even possible anyway. But I still looked at the trophy guide to see what it would take to 99% the game instead, but was again quietly pushed away. Still, I tried my luck to see just how many trophies I could earn without spending 500 hours in a boosting lobby killing myself 40,000 times on an alt account. But my experience, however, wasn't what I remembered leaving the game at. Like, I can't even finish off easy kills like that. Like, what do you mean he's not dead? I honestly thought Hardline got more hate than it deserved. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have given it the Battlefield name as it's only cops versus robbers and not all-out warfare, but at the same time, I really liked the gameplay and was pretty darn good at it. I was aiming to get 275 kills with a few of the guns to get a gold server star for and unlock its trophy. I knew the maps inside out, but these DLC weapons sucked straight balls. And I mean, on top of that, I'm sure you can tell by what you've been watching, Unk has fallen off a goddamn cliff. I mean, I'm struggling with just the gameplay alone, but then the latency and this awful weapon is just, it's just a terrible combination. I couldn't string 2 kills together, and my KD, well, I mean, the less we talk about that, the better. To give myself an excuse, there was literally only 1 full server, and that was on the other side of the world. So with the already horrible 2015 DICE netcode and 200 millisecond latency, this was as fun as you can imagine. Wow, I mean, I am really not enjoying this netcode, bro. This experience is just awful. But I was picking them off one by one while suffering through them. I hope to get 10,000 kills as an enforcer since that was my most played class, and I thought I was close. But realizing the game didn't hold up well to today's standards and my experience was truly unenjoyable, I figured I should at least get the really easy DLC trophies out of the way for things like equipping a skin in every slot, but that didn't pop. Okay, well maybe I'll try the gun bench loadouts then. Nope. Again, no trophy. Because to my surprise, I actually never bought premium for this game. The pre-Battle Pass seasonal $50 purchase, which Battlefield should definitely bring back, but that was required to pop these trophies, so I wanted to buy that, but they didn't even put it on discount before a server closure, and I sure as hell ain't paying all that for a game that's shutting down in a few weeks. So after getting over 160 kills with the M1A1 and a couple for the others, I came to the conclusion that this is the most tiresome slog, unenjoyable experience, and decided to be a grown man to pull a Kermit and leave the game as it is. Yeah, my completion percentage won't like the 22 unearned trophies living on my account forever, but I couldn't even 100% the game anyway, and leaving it all the way near the bottom of my trophy list, as still only my 3rd ever platinum, felt a better place to leave it than popping 1 extra trophy to bring it up. I'll pop some trophies in the next game, but yes gamers, it's okay to drop a game when you're not having fun. But we're several minutes into a trophy video without having popped a single trophy, so let's do that in the next game I had lined up for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. After platinuming the game in 49 hours back in late 2022, AC Odyssey was honestly not my favorite of that trilogy. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't as bad as Valhalla, and I'm procrastinating that cleanup as long as possible, don't make me do it. But my favorite was definitely Origins, but I still really like the Roman ancient Greece stuff, but I just didn't click with this game as much. But I downloaded het nalatenschap van het eerste mes en het lot van Atlantis to get started. Because with a whopping 7 DLCs to clean up, spanning 2 expansions with 3 episodes each, I had already popped a lot in the additional feats DLC. So let's finish those first, and these 2 remaining quests were going to be a great way to get back into the game. because ancient Greece is awesome, and I just so happened to have traveled there a couple weeks ago, and it didn't take long for me to spot some very recognizable locations I visited IRL. The first quest was really just another Assassin's Creed side quest. You know how they go and how little I always care for them. How is this actually the first quest? It's always the same in Assassin's Creed. I'm either going to love or hate the next 30 hours these trophies take. I don't get it, I don't get it, I don't get it, I don't get it. I just don't fucking understand why games do not have some sort of welcome back tutorial. Yay. After completing that basic quest, I moved on to the second one. This was leading us into the Atlantis DLC, where I have to find symbols in tombs to open the gate to the underwater realm. After finding those and getting the trophy, I didn't head there straight away as I wanted to save that for later. Instead, I first started the Legacy of the First Blade DLC. It begins in the northern region of a map in a village that's set on fire where I fight an old dude. And to absolutely nobody's surprise, there were more cults of the Order ancient people we had to kill, so that's what we set out to do. Each DLC has 5 trophies for playing through the story missions with a couple random miscellaneous and combat trophies attached. But even after already spending a couple hours in the game now, I still had to Google some basic ass things because of how lost I was. It was frustrating to relearn the combat with the mercenary spam that would be a plague throughout this DLC. What? There's another, oh my dude, they just keep spawning. But I did pop the first trophy a few minutes later by stealth killing 10 enemies with a new ability. After some mysterious likely other assassin stuff happens, I finish the first set of story missions. Woo! Discover the truth about Darius' past, brother. If I tell you I don't care about characters in Assassin's Creed, I really can't get into them, bro. Before continuing the story in episode 2, I first knocked out the other trophies here, like for killing all the Order bad guys that I had to locate, find, and then kill, and after chasing down this lady for the final one, got that done. And then I killed a super weak Mufasa with a gorgeous backdrop. Doesn't matter how often, which game, where, or why, it's always just, ooh, that's what I have to kill. Seems incredibly weak. That was just way too stupidly easy. There was still one combat trophy remaining, but I should get that whilst playing through the next episode. This second one was not much more exciting to me, but it continued the story, even showcasing how broken the experience was. Oh my god, he is actually just the dumbest. What the fuck? What are we doing? What? And he's just taking my horse. Yeah, this game, dude, this game. But I take down a singular Order lady, do some farm quests, and suddenly spawn a family with a guy I met 5 minutes ago. I was really hoping the Atlantis DLC would be more interesting because this just to me felt like another side quest. I repeat the same recipe for trophies to take down more Order people one by one, and have some pretty cool naval warfare to light 10 ships on fire. Into the third and final episode of this DLC, and I come across another Papalamapimelos that burns our village, kills my husband, and kidnaps my son. Like, holy flipping fast pace, there was zero time to connect emotionally with these people, but hey, we move. I don't have to tell you what the goal now is because of course it's to chase down that guy to eliminate him and take back our child. Whilst doing that, going for 10 rapid bow kills and 10 parries with a special weapon, there was one thing I hated during my playthrough, and that was this. Oh my god, dude. Leave me alone. Why do I have to fight every fucking enemy? It's not fun, dude. It's not fun. I just can't do this. I can't do this. I have to fight every single enemy in the entire town after one mission. One mission that wants me to take out 4 or 5 guys. And mercenaries spawn, enemies from other outposts spawn. Look at this, dude. I am going insane. It slowed things down tremendously with those fights, but I pushed through to get those 2 trophies a little further on. Next, before finishing the story, I take down some more ancient Order baddies. Deleted them, bro. And then head into the final boss fight against the guy behind it all. There's some political problems and personal issues at play, but I start taking him down. I defeat him, take back my son, and quickly send him or her back off to visit Bayek in AC Origins to complete the story. Before visiting Aquaman, I started by once again killing more Order of Ancients, and then unlock a special weapon at the blacksmith. Okay, I'm gonna pop the last trophy here for getting like some super secret weapon, and then that's already it, just talk to him. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I really did not care too much about this DLC, but much more excited about Atlantis. I got a couple more missed trophies I should get by naturally playing, but let's dive into Atlantis. As you saw earlier, I'd already started the first quest of the Fate of Atlantis for the additional Feats DLC, so I TP'd straight back into it. Although this wasn't exactly Atlantis but rather Elysium, and in fact not underwater. Actually, this really reminded me of another Ubisoft game called Immortals Fenyx Rising that I loved and I'm still super sad won't be getting a sequel. The same trophy layout is present here where we play through each of the 3 episode stories that all have some miscellaneous and combat trophies mixed in. However, after 10 minutes of exploring this realm, I was already annoyed at the traversal from horse, water to mountains and everything in between and really wished I had wings to fly around. But luckily this wouldn't be the only world we would explore to get to Atlantis. We have to gain knowledge to make our way there, and we do so by taking down the control of Persephone and working as some sort of double agent between Isu immortals and humans. So I take down bases and statues to get stronger, and finding keepers which were upgrades for my maxed out abilities. Which shortly after that unlocked the mind control ability, which had a missable trophy side quest attached to it. I prioritized that, but on my way there, popped 3 trophies back to back real quick. One for getting 10 headshot heal kills, which was still a trophy from the previous DLC. Then for chaining together 4 assassinations. And finally for killing the last of 4 Overseer Leader Lords. Whilst playing through the story, I was also destroying the many statues, and got that done quicker than I thought. However, each of these statues were guarded by guards, and the combat became a big annoyance because of how long the fights took, and just like the mercenaries in the other DLC, it was too much combat all the damn time. Too many repetitive interruptions when I'm just roaming around or when I have to get out of conflict to pick up a piece of flippin' paper, like please Ubisoft. Like, although the gameplay wasn't up my alley anymore, the scale and amount of things to do always make Assassin's Creed super satisfying to 100%. To get that missable trophy, I had to perform some magic on 8 enemies in 3 regions. So I went into a base each time to do just that, and thus had prepped myself for the missable in the last fight. And then was one of the weirdest things about this game, because after defeating Florida, Miss Persephone allowed me to bring someone back to life, but apparently my husband, who I was married to for 3 minutes, wasn't allowed, so Cassie must have moved on quickly, I guess. But there were more twists and turns in this story than on the Jeddah circuit, because I found it quite hard to follow due to the weird names and regions, making it a bit confusing as to who's who. I mean, Hermes is Hermes, but shit like this not working and being glitched even after a save reload really didn't enhance my experience. Sadly, I feel like this is my feeling in every AC game now, so maybe I've just grown out of it, although I still got Valhalla and Mirage to go for more janky repetitive horse riding, so I don't know. But I reached the final fight where I used my missable trophy army to beat some dudes in a cool fight, and then spoke to the lady once again who flicked me into the abyss to abruptly finish the first DLC. What? That's just the end of it? What? Okay. Thankfully, I didn't have to wait 6 weeks to proceed the cliffhanger, and the second episode continued right where it left off, fighting the doggy. I gotta say, although it's not very challenging, thank fuck it ain't. It's nice to do something different for once. Oh, I already got him. Beep, boop, bop, beep. Okay, that all missed. Peek. Don't die at the end. Okay. That ain't no good, doggy. We have arrived in the underworld of Hades, and because we just killed his not-so-good boy, we now have to get him a new one using strong enemies we have to defeat. Yeah, it's the same thing once again. We should reach Atlantis after that though, but this new drama in Greek mythology at least was completely different to the previous world. But the story was so similar to every other AC quest that it was no different. I don't know what it is with Assassin's Creed nowadays, but I really simply don't care about any of these characters. Like, it just doesn't interest me, even though Greek mythology should be very interesting. Instead of cult people now, I have to kill a bunch of mercenary fallen soldiers to restore the doggy. I kill some familiar people like Elliot Page, and immediately after found the last of 3 keepers. And before I even knew it, like 3 quests later, it said it was already the end of this world, so I was going to do some cleanup here first. Like for closing all the rifts of Tartaros and taking down the remaining fallen. These weren't too bad because I was leveling pretty well to get stronger each time, and it didn't even have to kill the last dude. What? I didn't even have to kill the last dude. The rifts were different because I had to enter a rift before being able to kill them, but they didn't take too long either. All that was left before heading to Atlantis was to defeat Hades once and for all. Hit him with my flame. Wow, he is like armored up, bro. I swear if he heals I'm gonna go insane. Oh my. What are these power-ups he has, bro? Oh, he's almost dead, bro. I got him. He's gonna burn to death. He is dead. Light work. Woo! Can we finally see Atlantis now, please? We could, because after sending Hades to the Shadow Realm, Atlantis awaited. We finally made it, and it's pretty, but not very wet. In this gorgeous city, I have to gain full knowledge and farm some collectibles to understand the true destiny of this place. Ice Poseidon leads the way, and I have to do a lot of side quests to progress. I really like the aesthetic and architecture here. This futuristic minimal vibe was sick, and it was a joy to explore. I was focusing on leveling up my knowledge by finding tablets and other things to increase it, and I did that on my portal whilst watching City lose a couple games, where I also popped a trophy for killing 10 other enemies with a special ability.
Trophy, you just saw it, trophy.
After finding the second of 3 keepers, I reached max IQ, then found the last keeper minutes later, and forged 3 new super tridents in the Forge of Atlantis. All that remained in this janky Odyssey was to complete the story, so I tell the Atlantis to have sexy time, accepted a couple more uninspiring side quests, and eventually stumble across a flying god who has locked clones of me behind a door. I am beyond lost. I do the only rational thing, which is taking them all down, then unlock a side quest called The Fate of Atlantis, which I reckoned was the final one, and head into a boss fight. Please don't be obscenely difficult even on the easiest difficulty, please. Big. Oh no, that's not good. Can I stop aimbotting onto them, please? Look at it walking, dude. What is that walking animation? Alright, I'll see you in 5 minutes when this bullet sponge is dead. And he's dead. That's it. We're done. I'm done. I stayed around to witness Atlantis become Atlantis, and finally fully complete the game. Okay, apart from the frustrating map design and the janky gameplay, that was an incredibly satisfying 100%, but I am not looking forward to doing the other 2 at all. I stand by those words, but I can't deny the satisfaction of seeing this 3.5-year 100%. It wasn't time for Mein Leven just yet, as next on my backlog wasn't just 1 game, but 2, because for the first time on my trophy list, I was going to double stack a game, starting with the PS5 edition. Control was a game I enjoyed playing the poorly optimized PS4 version of back in 2020, and played the much better PS5 edition several months later. Honestly, not too sure why, because although I really liked the game, I also didn't love the game. I don't know, must have been a dry month for games, I guess. But I never touched the 2 DLCs except for 1 combat trophy. Starting the DLC, however, already proved a challenge, as I spent a good 20 minutes trying to get the missions to show up without success. So I tried the PS4 version to try my luck there. Are you joking? It's the first thing. It's the 2 first things that show up. Why is my PS5 version not showing this, dude? I went back to the PS5 version, but after about 45 minutes of my head exploding why the mission wasn't showing up, it was likely due to me not having finished the story, which makes no sense whatsoever, as I literally platinumed the game on this very console and started the mission already according to the tracker. So I wanted to continue the story, but then after another 20 minutes of searching where that mission's supposed to start without success too, I retraced my steps to trigger the mission from the exact spot the game wanted me to. Over an hour later, I could literally rip my hair out by now. I speedrun through the story with some gameplay enhancers, but it was a nice opportunity to see how much the Control and Alan Wake universes were connected, which was pretty cool. 3 chapters later, and learning that Jesse Faden's favorite movie is
Shawshank Redemption,
the mission appeared, and I could finally start what I came here for. The Foundation DLC had new abilities and new areas to explore in the FPC building, and we come across this box of nails which we have to repair to connect 2 strange worlds together. Exploring the ever so beautiful, creepy and super atmospheric world with weird rituals and ambience was awesome, but there were some grindy trophies I'll touch on in a bit. The first trophy I got was for finding a shitter, and here I used my newly unlocked abilities 100 times for another trophy. I was really in love with the confusing story and gorgeous sound design, and I don't really mind not understanding everything as my experience is good on its own. It also didn't take me too long to repair all 4 nodes of the nail and reach the final boss fight. Oh shit, boss fight. Oh, it actually is. Oh my god, these adaptive triggers are so bad. Oh fuck. I'm literally only dying to full damage. Or falling off the map entirely. Okay. I'm quite confused on the story, but I like the vibe. Is that the end of the story? No way, it actually is. That was pretty short, but I still have quite a few trophies to go. Mostly trophies for collectibles and combat, because sadly, unlike the base game, the DLC wants me to find every single collectible, which I always praise the base game for only wanting 80%. But okay, I pulled up the guide and got to work, doing a couple bizarre but easy side missions in between. Is this gonna turn into Subway Surfers? Oh my god, it is! What? This is so weird. I kinda fucked with it though. That's it? Yeah, wait, what? Why does the guide say this is rage-inducing? That was just a fun trophy. 2 trophies, strong foundation. I actually also had a trophy for getting this bronze rank NPC companion to kill 5 enemies with, which he sucked at, but managed to eventually. I then found all the hidden secret rooms, got lost and scared in the dark looking for another collectible, which I miraculously made it out of, and collected the final collectible. I farmed 100 kills with the rush ability to get that done, and that meant that the last thing was for fighting Nikomata kitties, which took a lot longer to find across the still ever so confusing map layout. Oh my god, all that for some ooh-woo ears. A cool DLC, and on to the next one called Altered World Events. AWE is something that is prominent in Alan Wake, and after platinuming those fairly recently, I was looking forward to this. And it was indeed very Alan Wakey.
I'm
Alan.
My name is Alan Wake.
Alan and Tom both being here whilst even having the light mechanic was seriously pretty cool. Here we have to take down former side character Hartman, who had jumped into Alan's lake, and after doing so popped the first trophy. It took me a while to realize the new weapon for the trophy's Surge Protector was something I had to build myself, and after crafting it, was finally able to use it to take down 50 enemies. I also had to upgrade it to the max, but I'd save that for a special moment later. Even in this new liminal area, game devs still implement yellow paint to ensure players don't get lost, like it's actually comically beautiful. But before I even knew it once again, was already at the final fight against Hartman once more, where I swiftly take care of him, and I met with another similar tease.
Agent Estevez is the field agent in charge of monitoring.
Dude, that's so fire. They did the exact same in Alan Wake 2 DLC. Just a couple trophies remained before doing it all over again in the PS4 version. There was one trophy here for killing vending machines that would prove interesting though. I first found 4 hidden locations, killed 50 enemies with the surge weapon, and stumbled across an arcade machine which was used for a trophy. Inside this video game in a video game, I had to finish waves of enemies, and I used this opportunity to attach a nade to an item and throw it at an enemy, defeating a few more waves to get a high score. I next found 80% of the collectibles, which thankfully reverted back to not having to find them all, W change, but then had to spend a good while reloading saves to find RNG enemy vending machines. These took quite a while because it's fully random and you need some luck, but after reloading a couple times and walking past the 4th one, I took it down. I did the same for 25 airborne ranger enemy kills, and a few minutes later got that too. That left one singular trophy for simply upgrading my weapon, but I was going to save that until after completing the PS4 version because I think the double stack would look nicer that way, but let me know if you agree. Anyway, time to start the PS4 version and repeat everything I just did. It looks so ass. Yep, it's literally the same but in lower resolution and FPS, so this should be fun. Because I knew what to do though, and using the power of the accessibility enhanced mod features, I blasted through all 40 trophies super quick, one-tapping every enemy I came across, and it honestly wasn't as bad as I was expecting, since my eyes did get adjusted after a while. But that's until the final 4 trophies. I couldn't get the airborne rangers to spawn, nor the vending machines. Neither would pop up no matter how many reloads I did. I spent well over an hour reloading without success, and became very annoyed at the terrible RNG luck. So we actually dropped the game to come back a week later, where not only the airborne rangers spawned instantly, but I also walked towards the next vending machine in line and got that too. I genuinely could not believe they spawned within minutes after trying it over an hour before, so I then upgraded my weapon to max level and had 1 trophy remaining for killing 100 enemies with the shield ability. What? That was... Oh my god, dude. Oh, these trophies popped in like 5 minutes. Okay, I have 100%. Moving over to the PS5 edition. Pop 1 trophy, and it should take less than 1 second. Let's go! Let's go! car. Oh, that's so stupid. I wasted so much time on the PS4 edition. It's actually stupid. God, this feels so smooth again now. W cleanup. That was, in fact, a W cleanup and my first and only double stack on my trophy list, but I'm still not a fan of them. The last game I was going to clean up was one of the most recent games I played, Wolfenstein 2, and its 3 DLCs, including another 3 Mein Leben runs. The infamous Mein Leben run on the base game took me more attempts than I hoped for, but I still have to say it isn't that bad. So I was optimistically confident for 3 much shorter runs in each DLC, but it wasn't exactly easy either. No, I started with the first DLC, Gunslinger Joe. There's trophies for finishing the story, collectibles, the Mein Leben run, and also 3 challenges. Playing through the story on normal difficulty whilst finding the collectibles and getting adjusted to playing this again. It'd been a couple weeks since I last played this, but it still felt quite familiar really quickly. The first story is about an uberable quarterback, Gunslinger Joe, which was also cool to play as a different character. I shoot some Nazis, find some collectibles, and got PTSD trauma from the Panzerung again, before finishing the first chapter and getting first down. The second episode of this first DLC has me fighting the Triple K on a football field before waking up in a grave. It's pretty wild, but I hunt down more dudes through a diner and prison to reach the halftime show. The third and final chapter of this episode requires us to kill the main guy we've been chasing, and I blast my way to him, where I find the last readable collectible and the RD Online currency, and take down the bad guy for a touchdown. With the story done, there were still challenges to go, but I first wanted to get the Mein Leben out of the way. The amazing thing is, I'd only have to play the last chapter for this to count. And with it only taking around 20 minutes, this was much more bearable, and with the many hours of practice from the 4-hour real run, I shouldn't have too many issues. Or so I thought. No. This gun is so shit. This gun is so shit. Before you start blaming my aim, this gun's bullet velocity is slower than your grandma, so basically you have to pre-aim every single shot. Thankfully there's no unskippable 8-minute cutscene here, so I dove straight back in for another attempt. But I made it past that section the attempt after just to have this happen. Oh! I've never even felt that on Mein Leben. That was an almost insta-death that surprised me, but knowing that, I got back to that spot pretty quick. Why am I insta-dying there, bro? God. I have to wait for the barrier to rise before getting cover, but it wasn't lining up with my timing for some reason. Give me cover! Give me cover, what is this fucking thing? And with those repeated deaths, because I knew I could beat the true Mein Leben and mentally thought this would be easy, I started making some dumb mistakes earlier. Oh my god, this weapon just is, it's like playing on 500 ping. So even. Oh my god, dude, why is this genuinely harder than the actual Mein Leben run? I went 4 fucking hours without dying. I can't make it 10 in this fucking level. But I locked in and got back to my PB death spot. I'm not doing it the same way. Create your own strats, bro. Now what do I do? Oh, fuck. What remained was the final fight with a bunch of enemies and one giant Big Daddy, but I found a strat that I hoped would work. Alright, pray we don't die, basically. Pray we don't die, basically. Hopefully this strat works. Oh my god, it does. No, please don't shoot me. No, I'm dead. No, I'm not. Maybe I am. I need oxygen or coolant or whatever. Please don't shoot me in the back. Please don't shoot me in the back. Please don't shoot me in the back. Are you dead? Yes. I think I did it. I think I did it. Now that took way more attempts than I ever thought it would. It wasn't that bad, I just died like 3 times to some stupid unexplainable death. Yeah, I could have done that quicker, but hey, I got it, so that's what counts. There'd still be another 2 to go, but they should be easier. Up next were the challenges. These are small encounters lasting a few minutes where you have to reach the end or survive. Once again on the highest difficulty. The first one I almost made on a blind attempt first try, just running and gunning, but knew that there had to be a way to just sneak around. So that's what I did my next attempt before still having to improvise and running to the end anyway. That's it. That was super easy. The next one, however, wasn't. This was the Triple K football field again, and I had to survive multiple rounds of various enemies. The Ring of Fire would do massive amounts of damage, but I first had to learn which enemies spawn when and how many. After learning that, I knew where to stand, who to shoot first, and where to run next. Getting to further rounds in better shape with more health and ammo, but it really wasn't easy. And there's someone behind me. Or I ran into the fire. No one knows. It's so stupid. No, I don't see them. No. Just fucking... Holy shit! Why are they fucking aimbotting me, dude? Dude, what are these fucking reloads? My ass, dude. It's so stupid. Oh, you're not dead. Holy crap, dude. This is like the world's most frustrating aim trainer. Dude, like, what is that? Screen shake? There is nothing in the world you can do against that. Fucking epileptic attack, bro. Please, dude.
Does it ever end?
Like, please, 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 please. Does it ever end, dude? Please. Please, dude. Please tell me that's it. So stupid. Gotta admit, it was also incredibly addicting to keep going, but it took me almost 45 minutes. The final challenge, however, well, this is all it took. Okay. That concluded the first DLC, and I moved into the second one with Agent Silent Death. Here we play as Jessica Valiant, who is going to avenge her James Bond wannabe husband by taking out a Nazi in each chapter. The first chapter was very short and I killed the first dude, find the last collectible and escape the building. The next chapter was in Hollywood, which was pretty darn cool. This DLC also had much more stealth that I really preferred and I killed the actor without hesitation. The third and final Mein Leben chapter was on the moon. We really are everywhere in this game. This level, however, spammed an insane amount of enemies at me and I actually had to figure this one out for a second. Even with the game crashing and me falling through the map, I found all the collectibles, annihilated the Nazi and sprinted out. And so it was time to attempt Mein Leben on this short but busy level. Apparently it only takes a few minutes and I could get through the entire level flawlessly, up until this section where the enemies never lined up the way they should have, and I always got detected, over and over again. It was the inconsistency that actually frustrated me a little too much. So I took a quick breather by turning on the air fryer to make some chicken tendies, and when I returned for another attempt, had everything lined up properly, took down the leader, and ran to the exit. Next were the challenges again, and these were ridiculously easy. I blasted in the first one, then stealth lightning fast through the second, and then had to do about 50% of the Mein Leben run again, but with enemies in slightly different spots, but that caused no problems either. So moving on to the final DLC with Captain Wilkes. He's an army vet returning to America, and we have to stop the Sonnegoer. He liked killing Nazis, so that's exactly what we did. Killing everyone on our way through the first mission, then shooting everyone in his Vietnam-looking bunker, and finally through a larger U-Party boat finding every readable and gold bar. Doing a little bit of Mein Leben reconnaissance before killing the final Nazi. The final Mein Leben run was up, and I was super happy to almost be done with this game because of the many deaths this game had traumatized me on. This one had 3 sketchy sections though. One was more annoying parkour than sketchy to survive, the second one was scary where I might have to make a screw it YOLO run, and lastly a massive canteen fight. But luckily I did exactly what you just saw through each section, before getting to the canteen where I stayed high in the sky and shot the enemies from above. No way. Let me me just resource myself fully, but I think I've done it. And we're done. What? No, what? That was by far the easiest one. Let's go. Yeah, Loki didn't expect that, but I never want to read the words Mein Leben again because I am over those. 3 trophies and 3 challenges remained before I 100% this game, and, well, these were just as easy as that Mein Leben run. The first one wanted me to shoot everyone and run to the end. Second one did need more precision by taking out a couple guys stealthily before taking out the last few enemies. And the last one spawned me in the middle of the canteen next to all the enemies for a food fight. Okay, I see you. Don't kill me, please. I'd really, really want to be done. Holy shit. Anyone else? Is that it? It's not it. Is that it? Come on, don't be pussy now. Where are you? Are you the final Wolf 2 enemy I've killed? Or do I just exit? I think mine do. Yes! I don't want to spend another second in that game. I am over the moon with being done. I'm super proud of getting that platinum and it's 100% now, but I really don't want to spend any more time with it. But one more thing before ending the video is that after I refreshed my PSMP, I had finally reached the gorgeous 80% and truly was making insane progress on that. But we're not stopping there, so hit that subscribe button for the next episode because we ain't done yet. Until then, you can watch me suffer through the Wolf 2 platinum in this video, and that's it. See ya!